Hi. Yeah, that's it. Hi. That's the whole show. We're doing a rewatch. Did you know that? Do you know what a rewatch is? Well, if you tuned in, you probably have seen it before. We're doing Toy Story 2 with Lightyear coming up. So the way we're going to do it, coming forward, if you listen, first of all, you listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or any of that stuff. Thank you so much for that. This is not that show. That's Sith Council. This is big thing. Yeah. I got so much to show you. Show some class, all of it, and then absolutely nothing. Subscribe to the podcast. Listen to the big thing on the go. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all of that. And if you're wondering, what the hell are we doing for rewatches? Well, we've decided. We've made a plan. Today, you're getting Toy Story 2. I don't know how long the episode is. You know better than I do because you clicked on the video and you saw the time. So you know better than me right now. So good for you. But next week, next Friday, we're going to do Toy Story 3 and 4 because I just don't think that somebody's going to click on a full video of just Toy Story 4. I could be wrong, but I think 3, at least I rope you in because 3 is one of the best. So we're going to do 3 and 4 next week and then Lightyear, full spoiler review, conversation the following Monday. So we got a lot going on. We also have this Monday, Jurassic World spoiler conversation, tying off on the Jurassic Park rewatch series that we did. So Winston and Coy, new cameras. Well, that's not true. It's the same camera. New quality on the camera. And all that stuff on the show today. So make sure, once again, that you're commenting, subscribing, hit that notification button, do everything you got to do. And we'll see you in just a moment here on the show. It is the big thing. Come on, baby. Yeah. What's up? Welcome back. Yeah, they're both here. Yep. Got him. Talking about Koi's hair earlier. It's doing fantastic things.
At this point, we should be talking about the black eyes I've developed from lack of sleep.
Nah, dude, that hair looked like you were sponsored by Joy Mode. That's what that hair looked like.
I was up, and I'm staying there, but if it's more than 4 hours, consult a doctor. I love the new cut, except for when I look like I just found a microwave and put myself in it. I'm so tired.
I mean, yeah, you don't. That's all right.
That's the only thing about putting shit in 4K.
Yeah, it's all real.
Do you remember? Now I'm gonna hold you to this one today. This is Toy Story.
Okay.
All right. That's my only one.
Stuff.
That's my only one. I'm genuinely going to think about my words.
I believe in you.
It looks like...
What do you got?
You found a Jessie.
That's right.
And a Bo Peep last night.
There you go. See? At the same time.
That's what that
You know what? Right. Pixar brings people together. And I'm saying it's a magical time. And these are family films and I want kids. So whether or not those things correlate, we'll see what happens.
Hey man, look, I'm happy for you.
I appreciate it.
Just knowing that you've been at like every premiere.
I've been hustling. And I finally got to meet Chris. I'd never met Chris. And like we grew up near each other.
How I be your intern? That's all I want to know.
Dude, I need one. Hence the bags on bags. Yeah. Man. And like that, I love that Toy Story. Like I grew up with these movies, so it was kind of like personal. I didn't realize how personal it was going to be till I got an interview and someone started asking me stuff about that. I was like, oh, I'm having emotions about the past.
You know what's so interesting about rewatching these? Because we're Can I spill the tea about what we're doing today, Kristian, or should I not?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Well, we're
behind the curtain.
We're recording all of these in a day, and a lot of that is scheduling issues and whatnot. So we had to knock them all out.
Which was hilarious. Are you going to tell the story about what happened when you walked in today?
Which part?
My wife.
Oh, what happened? I don't know the story yet.
This is hilarious.
So I already felt pretty ghetto, right? So I didn't have time to eat breakfast. I knew we were gonna be here for a while, so I ordered food to Kristian's house. I'm standing outside.
That's not good. You should have just asked me, can we order food? I would have ordered food.
I'm sure you would have. But either way, I just stood outside his house like a grifter, just waiting for this guy. He gave me the food. I'm walking by, and all of a sudden I hear, why do they have to be here for 4 hours today? And I was like, I literally looked, and I'm standing here like this.
Hilarious.
I'm like,
and it looks like you're moving in, like on top of it. Like
I was like, should I just turn around and walk out? And I came and sat down, and then Kristian came in. I'm like, anything good? He's like, it's fine.
It's fine.
I'm now afraid because I didn't know that story. Now I'm afraid to leave.
Now you know.
When we leave in 3 hours.
Just like wave like strangely. And the funny thing is I'm going to show her this clip tonight. She's going to be so embarrassed. She had no idea.
Like, we're sorry?
You have to understand, every time I walk into your backyard, I do look like just some random black dude just walking into someone's backyard.
Remember, Corey Coleman, when Corey Coleman used to come in here too, same thing would happen. He'd go to first time he went to the front door, I was like, because this is in the height of the pandemic. So she's like, hello? And he's like, oh, is Kristian here? And then she's like, he's like the nicest guy. Corey's like the sweetest guy in the world. And like the last time I think he just came through the gate and she's like, ah! It's hilarious.
Dude, it's not as bad, but the fact that I can't reach the gate, the fact that my 5'9" ass
and I even
is
said
like
this too.
literally thumping across the gate.
And only because we know each other so well now. Like you had texted before where you said like I'm 4 minutes out.
Yeah.
And this is my first response. What's wrong? The little hobbit can't get over.
I need the time. I need the 4 minutes. It's me and Kristian's children trapped in the gate.
I literally, my black spidey senses went off. She's like, why do they have to be here for 4 hours since I have? I'm like, looking towards the exit.
It was hilarious.
Stakes are high.
Brought a change of clothes so we had different things.
Same. I'm ready.
I can't wait to show her this thing because when we camp out at night, we shoot. Last night she's watching So You Think You Can Dance, and I put on. Brett, I showed you guys the clip of Brett.
Yeah.
He was just on fire on Big Thing this week, and I was showing her because we had watched Deep Water together, and I was like, hey, pause it for a second. So listen to this. So I'll do that tonight, and I'll say, hey, why don't you hear this new clip? and she's gonna be embarrassed. So, but she loves you.
All about her.
It's okay. You did not commit a racism. You were totally fine. You were just talking to your husband. It was totally fine.
She loves you.
Yeah.
She sees you trapped outside. She sees you like flopping at the gate. Let him be.
Coy's just another guy.
There he is.
Yeah, Coy's just another.
She did call me like Corey and Cody. I've gotten a few names.
No,
not recently. Not recently, but I remember specifically. I've earned a name.
Yeah, no, but Winston she likes.
I'm the reason the 4 hours is a problem.
That's the reason why. It was just Winston.
You're fine.
She liked me before, but I'll tell you why,
No, it
Coy.
has nothing to do with what you're talking about.
Do you even know what I'm about to say?
No, let's see.
I was gonna say because I bailed his family out from death and went and got groceries for him a few times during the pandemic. Because I was doing Instacart and running my own grocery business.
Yeah.
So me and Sadie got really
right
close.
When it started. It was right when it started. Yeah.
So you endeared. You got in the family. I get it.
Yeah,
that makes
true.
sense.
She was like, I need these types of bananas and not those. And I was like, respect. All right, give me a second. I don't see them. She's like, it's all right. Don't even worry about it. And I was like, oh, they just stocked them. She goes, see, you're a savior. And
I'm just out here inviting Christian premieres and shit. And she's like, you're going to get my husband killed. I'm like, it's fine. It's fine.
And plus you don't listen. I already said no SHI. And you did it.
He got one.
Yeah, but I said, please don't do that.
Oh, well, here we go.
You're hungover.
All right, that's it, guys. It's been a week.
Okay, we're doing stuff.
We should talk about Toy Story.
Toy Story 2.
The leap in video
really good,
quality,
man.
like the leap. I mean, obviously,
our video quality.
But also Toy Story 2 between 1 and 2 because
it's only 4 years.
4 years and Monsters Inc. was in the middle, so it's not like they had a full 4 years. The same team, a lot of those like compositors, and obviously it's only improved. Lightyear looks flabbergasting, but between 1 and 2 might be the biggest leap. Like, it is insane because the first one is the first CGI film of all time. Right. So it's largely like, here's a shape, here's a mapping, here's a texture. Yeah. That's what you can do. And then the second one, you start to play with like cinematography, you start to play with like the depth of field, you start to play with the texture on them changing depending. It's a really beautiful film.
Even I think the thing that stuck out to me is that you're already seeing like the coloring getting better.
Yeah.
And it's not that it was bad in the first, it was still really good. But like I think about like Sid and some of that room, and it was very kind of it reminded me of when you go to a Dolby film and they're like, "This is not Dolby, this is Dolby," and then they wipe it across, and like you can't see the dude in the shadows, and all of a sudden you see the guy blowing the fire. And that's what the coloring difference felt like to me.
I love that we watched all 4 in a week, effectively, because one was like late last week for me.
Five of
Lightyear.
Dude.
So it was cool to see the progression of art, like what animations become.
I literally saw the first. Well, I guess we watched the first one the previous week. So I watched 2 and 3 in one day. I was going to sit down and watch 4, and I was like, I need to give myself a break.
Yeah.
And then I watched Power, which is, the complete opposite of Toy
Story. The Netflix joint?
No, the Stars one with 50 Cent and a bunch
of... yeah. It's close in
Toy
tone.
Story.
Close in tone. But what
Buzz, Woody, Fitty.
But the movie itself, I thought that what they also did, remember that this, I think it was the, excuse me, the third Pixar movie, what we said, because the first was
Toy Story, Monsters Inc., and then this.
No, not Monsters Inc.
Oh, sorry, Bugs Life.
Bugs Life, then this, and then Monsters, I think, came afterwards.
I think so.
So this was first, or at least third, excuse me, but the up, as you guys mentioned, the up in quality because of the amount of success that the first one had, and then this one we talked about crushed at the box office because people were just pumped to see it, and it started playing on more, I believe, on still at this point it was VHS still, and playing. I
think so.
Yeah, in '95 was
DVDs
VHS.
were what, 2001, right?
This is 99.
This is right when. So this probably
DVDs started, but they were expensive. Because I remember I got the Matrix on DVD before I had a DVD player because I knew I wanted the Matrix
was like
so bad.
Matrix was like the first. And that started the boom.
I
that was
feel
99.
like I remembered Matrix being announced as like one of the first.
Because it was the Wachowskis, like they know that. But I remember I couldn't afford the player, so I just had this thing thing that I knew was going to be special. And then it was like a year and a half later, I got the player and I was like, it's time.
Yeah.
But like 99 was The Matrix and Toy Story 2. Like I consider 99 one of the best years in cinema. Like that movie, that year's crazy.
No, I think it was that. No,
I mean, that's the year of The Mummy. That's American Beauty. That's Fight Club. That's I mean, that's everything. American Pie, I believe, is 99.
Yeah, it was.
That's a lot, dude.
Things really shifted.
So funny you mentioned American Pie because like I just randomly some video popped up and it said how to never start an interview. And there's John Cusack sitting there, right? And he's talking to whoever the interviewer is, and he says, "Hey, how are you?" to the woman, and she's like, "Hey." She's like, "Oh, it's so funny because last night going into this, I just watched American Beauty with my friends." And he's like, "American Beauty? Okay, what's the significance?" She's like, "You were in that." He's like, "No." Wasn't in that. And she's like, "Yeah, you were." He's like, "No, I wasn't." And she's like, really? He's like, "Yeah, pretty sure. I'm not in that movie."
How do you correct someone about their life?
I got a story like that. I got a story like that of my own. In that,
I remember this. Holly Hunter, right?
Yeah. So I could not remember what movies Holly Hunter was in other than The Incredibles. And so I'm in the Batman v Superman interview with her, and I'm like, "You've been in so many great films, The Incredibles. So tell me, after being in a superhero film like The Incredible," because I genuinely was like, oh God.
Raising Arizona, man? Is that on the internet?
That's amazing.
It's not, but I have the footage somewhere, so I got to see.
We got to play that on this show.
Yeah, that should be your reel. That's I'd like
that's
just
it.
a little extra in that pause, like a little Curb Your Enthusiasm.
What's wild, I killed it in every other interview. My interview with Ben Affleck, because he went to Occidental College, and that's where I graduated from.
Yeah.
We had a talk there. Had a great interview with Gal Gadot. Had an incredible interview with Henry Cavill. I'm still in a meme with him.
Yeah, I've seen
because it's him saying like, "Oh, I see it's laundry day, and I'm wearing a Batman."
It's a great
t-shirt.
moment. Yeah.
And Lawrence Fishburne, I treat him like an uncle, and we just like chopped it up like two black dudes for a while.
Incredible.
I get to Holly Hunter. Bomb! Just
You'd use it up. You'd use it up. You'd gotten all your goodwill from the universe out. I get it. It happens.
But
that's
you
why my eyes look like
blew it.
this.
You blew it. He needs some milk.
He needs some milk.
Magic costs debt, man. It's a debt. That's what happened to my eyes. Like, it's a debt. You pay for it throughout the week. Here we are. So I also like that they mixed it up from, the growth of the first film is Buzz accepting like what he is, and there's also the childhood evolution of what it means to be a child imagination, all those things. And then the second one is like Woody has to go through an arc similar to what Buzz did, but it's more about like the reality of what it is to be your own man/toy. Like, I love that the arc becomes Woody and Buzz have kind of opposing arcs that always work narratively even throughout all four films.
Well, you know what's so interesting is because we had to watch all four, and we'll get more into this when we do the 3-4 episode, it really is, obviously Buzz had his own growing, but if you're following it as Woody, not just as a toy, but as his life.
Yeah.
It's kind of the idea of, again, that replacement at work.
Yeah.
And then after that, realizing that maybe you didn't live your full potential. And the second one, the third one, you end up in retirement. And what does that mean? And
it's also like mortality, right? Like if you go macro with that exact same arc, like this movie is about him finding a new family that is his predisposed family, but he's putting himself in a case.
But I like that they did that.
He's doesn't want to die. Like he's afraid of not being played with.
Midlife
So he'd rather
crisis
be not
almost.
touched and just like that's
But
terrifying.
I like what they did with the fact that they were focusing so heavy on Buzz in the first one, obviously, that they wanted, and Woody gets a lot of love in the first one, obviously, but this is really more about, as you said, his story, his origin, like the idea of where he came from, because we get that way more now in Lightyear for where Buzz came from, but like Woody, this is kind of that story of where he came from. So people are like, oh, this should be a Woody movie. It's
very much a Woody movie.
This is the Woody movie.
Jesse and what's the horse's name? I love that horse.
Bullseye.
Bullseye.
But this
that
is
whole arc.
But this is how you learn, and it's great because you remember. At least I remember my dad telling me stories like when he grew up with Howdy Doody and all those things, and it was like very reminiscent to the types of shows that my dad watched. So that when that was happening, I thought that was great. Plus the fact that they've done this a few times now, and it's kind of like a cliche kind of trope in the Toy Story movies. But like the guys you think are his buddies are the bad guys. You know?
And it's fun.
Every time.
Yeah,
They do it
twice.
They sort of do it I guess not really in the fourth one.
I
It's
like
the
that they
opposite,
kind of
but-
twist on the twist though, because in this one it's
Stinky
a
Pete.
twist that's Sneaky Pete. Like it's late, it's third act.
Yeah.
I liked that in the third movie we just know Hugzo
Right away.
is like
Well,
within
once-
a few minutes.
Once the toys get abused, you immediately know.
So you get more of the long enduring trauma of villainy versus this is like, oh, hoodwinked.
Well, because and they do a really good red herring where they keep, because of Jessie's her own trauma, because of the fact that like, she's like, I'm not going back in a box,
And you feel for her.
You think, and you do. You think it's her,
Right.
You don't think it's Pete until he finally is like, nah, you're done.
Mint
son.
condition in the box was such a clever thing because it's a great toy nod. It also introduces a new style of character because I love that with these movies you wonder like what it is to be a toy. Like, are you activated when you're out of the box? We learn that's not the case.
And what's
because
hilarious-
he's still mint condition.
And what's hilarious is that Al is pretty much the same character from Jurassic Park.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yes, he
It's
is.
amazing.
It's the same
Wayne,
character.
yeah, yeah.
It's the same exact character.
He's so good at it.
Yeah, he's so good at
He
it.
has mastered it. I didn't realize, since we're doing Jurassic simultaneously,
Yes.
this somehow actually worked. I didn't realize that Dodson from the new Jurassic was supposed to be Dodson from the first Jurassic. Like, that's supposed to be the same character.
Which one?
Dodson, the guy that, like, Dodson, we got Dodson here. See, nobody cares. The scene with Wayne in the first Jurassic Park.
Yes.
The guy with the Barbasol can.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
supposed to be same homeboy in the new movie. The main villain.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because that real dude was my acting coach
Oh, that's
and he
why.
got arrested.
That's why he has. That's why he has
That's why
the
he
can.
has the can. I didn't get it.
Oh, interesting.
It's like the recasting because the real guy's in jail.
Right.
But like
that part, but the other
It
thing
was,
that was
but
weird
he's
about,
out.
I mean, let's save it for the Dominion talk because it's
Right
over
over
my head too. But just his personality is very different.
Yeah,
right?
we'll talk- we'll-
It's a
we'll-
weird,
we'll-
talk-
we'll
but it's
save
funny
it.
we're talking about the two movies that like have this one character that like
Yeah,
you never would have been like, Jurassic Park and Toy Story, that correlation. But like there is a similarity
I mean, dude, you had, remember Rex falls out of the back of the car in the toy store and you see him running
objects
behind
in
it.
close
Yeah.
than they appear. Also,
But-
they reinvent technology. 93, 95.
Yeah, I too, and I do love how Buzz has to step up though and become like the leader.
Yeah.
Too, and you're taking over
And be
for-
selfless. Like, he has to be a
does,
team player.
and he is. Well, I mean, he was though in the first one though.
He
it
got
was,
to
it
them.
was it was Woody though it was Woody that was the one who was more about. You know, he had the leadership role, but he was doing it because he knew he was Andy's number one toy.
Right.
And then once Buzz came in, he's like, well, and everybody kind of shunned him to the side. He's like, well, I don't want to be a team player anymore. I want them to all look at me again. And
Yeah.
then him and Buzz had to work together. And now it's kind of reversed where Buzz has to make everything work. And then the whole scene when they have all the various Buzzes, you know,
Dude.
it's a great scene.
The whole toy store segment of like you meet the
It's
new characters
amazing.
in really
Barbie.
inventive ways.
I'm a married spud. I'm a married spud.
Yes.
I'm a married spud.
And,
Like,
even Mr. Potato getting his Miss Potato
Yeah.
after the first movie,
yeah.
like that whole
But
arc
then-
is great.
But then, literally, like what her packing all the stuff for his like adventure,
Yeah.
which that was also the fun thing. It gave that homage of like the guys going on the road trip because they have to
Yeah.
like. Made me think of Road Trip. It made me think of American Pie, where it's just all we gotta go save our buddy, man.
That
Like
was
we gotta
such
do
this
it.
era, like the 99. Oh, because I was thinking Rush Hour had those spoof credits, which was iconic because Jackie
so
Chan.
good.
And this movie had spoof credits that were animated. Like they had to animate bloopers.
I cannot believe they have greenlit Bugs Life 2. It's not Bugs Life 2. What is it?
It's funny. Yeah.
And that quest with Buzz is so great because you've got the arc of Woody having his own existential crisis in a new way. You've got Buzz taking, like we said, the leadership role in a different way, but going on like a noble quest. And it all comes together by introducing like 30 new toys, and the cast grows by like twofold.
They really love playing idiot like newbie Buzz
I
because
love
they
it.
did it in the first,
Yeah.
obviously with
Yeah.
our Buzz. You do it again with the one that came out the box with the belt.
Yep, because he's
And then-
genius. Tim Allen knows how to be dumb so
Yeah.
well.
I love watching it now, though, knowing it's true. But I love watching it now, knowing that Tim Allen's voice is essentially like they couldn't get the main actor, so they got like
Right.
They got the
They got a spin-off bootleg.
Yeah,
like
so-
someone's
Wait,
like
what?
extra. Well,
No,
if you think about the
because
plot
of the
of
movie,
Lightyear.
because the movie of Lightyear, like, they basically couldn't get the
yes,
actor
yes,
to play him,
yes.
so they used Tim Allen's voice. But
Which is
what's
so
hilarious?
accurate to toys.
True or false? Tom Hanks does the voice for the Woody toy that you buy in the stores.
False. It's his brother.
His brother.
Isn't that cool? It's
really-
exactly canon.
Which is the
Video games,
which,
yeah.
which is essentially what like
Life
so
imitating art
So
really
if that Woody doll was based off a movie with Tom Hanks, it would be his brother that would be.
You know what I'd love if in canon in this movie
Yeah.
on TV it was his brother. Like it'd be funny if the
Hilarious.
black and white
That's
stuff
who-
was
that's-
his
that's
brother,
who it
like
is.
brother Hanks.
That would be really funny.
But either way, so you have. I mean, there are those, as you said. Corey, I
Anyone
think
but
you
Chet.
I know, but I think you said. I think you said it well. You know, where it is this. When he first gets taken from that garage sale or the outside, and Al steals him, like the Ned that he is, whatever it is. He goes and he doesn't want to be there at first, and then he feel like you said he starts to accept it. Maybe this is the place I want to be. And then once his old family comes in, it's when he's got to make that choice. And I love that they bring him in, that they bring them in.
And
it's
you
a good
see
way.
the cast, you see the dynamic between that family, literal family.
Well, what's really funny about this is that Woody, if you look at his arc over all 4 movies, is actually super selfish. We knew that in the first one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they don't change that. Yeah, his arc, he evolves in his selfishness.
Well, exactly. So, like, the second one, again, they got him because they go, bro, not only were you a TV show, you were a record player, you were a ball drop,
you were Buzz.
Gum.
Yeah.
You were Buzz.
Yeah, you were the Buzz you wanted to be.
You were Buzz back then.
You didn't know you were Buzz, and that's what. So there's that. Then in the third one, again, we'll get to it, but the idea of like, screw a daycare, y'all. I got a kid that wants me to be number one again.
It's about me being number one.
It's still about
in 2, it's him being number 1 to America. Like it's him being number 1 on a scale.
Japan, but yes.
But you say, scope.
Yes.
But it's really interesting to have a quadrilogy that's that consistent, because we talked when we did the Spider-Man movies, when we did the Jurassic Park movies, about like certain ebbs and flow in quality. I would argue this quadrilogy is amongst the strongest. Like you can have good trilogies. Rarely is the 4th one decent, and rarely does it keep the arc and pace going well.
It's true. And I'll tell you right now that if you want ebbs and flow in quality,
listen to the big thing as we
should be getting
tangent
Storyblocks. Storyblocks is fantastic. For people who don't know, we've been talking about Storyblocks a lot. They've been with us obviously for a little bit. I've been telling you guys about it, talking about it, and more people, especially on this show, have been checking it out. And so Storyblocks it exists just for you, to help you bring all your stories to life without sacrificing your vision due to time, budget, or resources. Every creator should have a Storyblocks membership. It's changing the face of stock footage with more diverse and inclusive content in their library to help creators continue to tell their unique and authentic stories. They have unlimited all-access plans that give you unlimited downloads of over the 1 million assets in their library. Try out multiple options quickly and find the perfect fit so you can create more and spend less without sacrificing quality. There's a lot of problems that creators run into, whether it's meeting output demands, time, budget, knowledge, creative inspiration, passion, burnout, mental health. Video is the most effective way to capture an audience's attention. And as a result, modern storytellers are going to be challenged with creating more video content at a higher quality, involving more voices in the process, and distributing on more platforms than ever before. Storyblocks makes it possible for creators to keep up with the growing demands for modern video content, so you can bring all your stories to life and stop sacrificing your vision due to time, budget, or resources. You go to storyblocks.com/bigthing. Check out Storyblocks and sign up for their unlimited all-access plan. Once again, storyblocks.com/bigthing. I've told you guys many times over. I'll tell you again, and you ask, how can you help the show? Well, first of all, help yourself when it comes to video content, and get Storyblocks, but it also helps the show. Anytime you get one of our great sponsors like Storyblocks, it helps our show tremendously. And as I mentioned earlier, please don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. All right, jumping back in. Toy Story 2. This is a movie that, once again, you forget, and it should be relevant for this conversation when it comes out, that animation has changed dramatically from even 95 to 99.
Yeah.
But it's still an early game for Pixar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pixar is still only 3 in, but knowing we got something here.
Yeah, it's something special.
When you go into 95, it's like, we think we got something.
Yeah.
We hope this is a new thing, but like, I would like to see, I'd be very curious because you know how studios are. Once at 95, you look at all the studios that were making animation, and it was still all the old school way.
Right.
The stuff that was lined up, the stuff that was being developed.
Shrek didn't get to 2001.
I think the success of this helped.
100%.
No, that was that was DreamWorks.
Yeah, it was DreamWorks' big one,
Yeah.
right? And Toy Story paved the way for that film to do what it did as well. But I would be very curious to see the animation that was being greenlit from 95 until Toy Story comes out, how many of the traditional were, and then how much of the shift happened from like 95 to 99.
Because now we don't see 2D animation. It's
rare.
Special.
You go, one of those.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
one of those.
Like that
or they
Christmas
show
movie
up,
Klaus, and you're like, oh, beautiful.
Right. Or they show up on streaming.
Right,
a lot,
right.
Which is mostly where they land. You don't see a lot of them theatrically released.
Is The Princess and the Frog the last traditionally animated Disney film?
one?
Was that?
Yes.
Is that right?
To my knowledge,
that was a while back.
Right.
Theatrically released. I think that they've done a ton of ones like that on like Disney Plus.
You're getting a lot of of now, if you're gonna do anything like that, it's more of like a gimmicky thing. So like Chip and Dale, which is amazing. If you guys
so
haven't
much fun.
seen
But that's also
you're blending all three.
Yeah, that's
and you're
live
acknowledging
action,
it as special.
100%.
Live
right.
action CGI
right.
and 2G.
So
And
I wouldn't
yeah,
even
it's part of the
I wouldn't
conversation.
count that one. I would say that more so, but Disney Plus is where something like that would land. Right. But it changed the game.
Yeah.
And then I can even imagine, as I say, those numbers and the distribution.
Because it doubles between 1 and 2. The budget.
But I can't imagine how after 2 made the money that it made.
Right.
How even more studios were like, whatever you got.
I think
as far
studios
as
started. Like I literally think
doing
people
more.
saw it and they're like, oh no, we're gonna start a studio. We're gonna start a CGI. Because you remember the 2000s was like so CGI heavy, good and bad.
Yeah.
There was a lot of really rough. We're trying to be Toy Story takes.
Because one of the things that also gets confusing now, since everybody does this, like Encanto, for example, is not Pixar, but it is CGI.
Pixar looking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So here's some of the ones, by the way. So this is in 2000. So this is 2001, which was 2 years after this movie, right? Spirited Away, which was traditional. Shrek, which was not. Monsters Inc. Atlantis, The Lost Empire, which was. Osmosis Jones. Monkey Bone, Waking Life, Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. I don't remember which one.
Jimmy Neutron wouldn't be just because they were using that was a CGI TV show.
Okay. So let's see. We'll do 2002. See if they change. Lilo and Stitch was traditional.
Ice
so that
Age.
was probably the no. Princess and the
Ice
Frog.
Age.
Ice Age.
That's
was,
a big CGI
that was a big
push.
new one. Treasure
Yeah.
Planet was traditional. Spirit
With CGI backgrounds, though. Treasure Planet started
Was
using.
it? Okay.
Remember, it was like the 3D background, 2D hand drawn over it.
Stuart Little 2, Peter Pan 2, Wild Thornberry. So it starts
Stuart Little 2 CGI.
But it starts to you see the shift.
Yeah, you're feeling
and
it.
In 2003, Finding Nemo, Brother Bear was traditional. Looney Tunes back in action. Sinbad, The Triplets, Jungle Book 2. Yeah,
That's a weird year.
So it was a weird year, but it starts, and then
Here we go.
2004 is where it really starts moving. The Incredible, because remember, it takes about 3 years to make these movies.
Right.
So that pans out, right? The Incredibles, Shrek 2, Shark Tale. Polar Express makes a big swing.
Yep, these are more CGI than.
Yeah.
This is the first year that's more CGI than traditional.
So it starts. So from you look at what happens it takes
Almost
really
a decade.
roughly about a decade from the start of Toy Story 1.
I think people were hedging their bets till 2 came out. I think, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, it was also let's see. Yeah, maybe you're right. Like the other studios are going.
Movie, you're like, this could have been a fluke.
A flash in the pan type.
Yeah,
thing. Right.
and then you see A Bug's Life, and you're like, okay, I'm listening. And then Toy Story 2 skyrockets.
That's it. And everyone
Toy Story
starts
was
making
95. Bugs Life was 97.
I want to say
96,
and then
97, whatever it was.
99 is we're doubling down. You make twice your budget on twice your budget.
Yes.
So it costs more, but then you double.
And they're like, okay, so this might be, and you can see the cigar chompers. All right, looks like this is the way it's going to be going now, kids. Scrap all the other stuff. By 2004, I want everything in the can that's traditional. Put it all digital.
Well, and what's funny is how one set of projects, one studio can really set that curve.
Money, man. Money talks.
Because Marvel did the same thing.
Yeah, look at 2008.
It started with Iron Man, and everybody's like, all right, whatever. But you get to Avengers at that point, and now all of a sudden people are like, oh, snap.
10 years ago.
We got to connect these.
Shared
2012.
universe, yeah.
2012 changed everything, and now we're in a multiversal phase where like everything's got a
everything's
multiversal tangent.
Which is funny because multiverse has been kind of happening for a lot of different times. The problem is now, even here myself, because you guys know from talking with me for a while, I've always been interested in multiverse. But now when I talk about multiverse, I'm like, I have to like, and it's nothing against it, but I always have to say it's not like Marvel multiverse,
right?
Because it's like because it's so
vast
big that everyone thinks
different.
about multiverse, they think of Marvel now,
right?
And it's like multiverse was around way before Marvel.
It's
guys.
very funny because it feels like I like this band before they were cool, like people that take the sound and you're like, no, but the original.
That's exactly what it is.
Well, it's funny because you remember the Arrowverse and like the CW and all that tried to beat the curb because they knew this was coming from
Spider-Man
Marvel.
the animated series teamed up with X-Men in '93.
You had that. I mean, you had so many different stuff that they did, but you see, they tried to do that where they were like, "Quick, get Kevin Conroy to be old Batman and get Brandon Routh to like we know he's playing the Atom, but have him play a version of Superman. Just get everybody to come in and like do their thing,
right?"
And it's just that everybody is trying to be that person that creates the new animation style, that creates the new superhero genre, that creates the whatever. You're trying to find that thing that'll hook.
And Pixar had it for
or
a
at least
long run.
And even if you're not trying to create it, you're trying to do. I mean, look at. I always bring up like TiVo. Nobody talks about TiVo anymore.
But TiVo is huge.
TiVo
for like
created
8 years.
TiVo when I had a TiVo, and TiVo. I remember saying to people, they're like, "What's TiVo?" I go, "I can pause my television."
And it's shocking.
And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can just pause my television."
And then you could
I can
record your
stuff.
television.
And,
That
and
was
it's not,
insane.
And it's no tape. And what happened was, everybody stole their technology.
Yeah. Yep.
And now it's just what you have on your TV. It just comes with it.
Yeah.
That's the same type of thing with animation or anything where they go, okay, look, well, they did that. How do we do it and make it benefit for us? And that's what DreamWorks did. Like, well, let's get rid of the. Clearly, Pixar's onto something.
Yeah.
So let's stay away from the digital because Shrek would have been a regular animated film. If had it not been for Toy Story, it probably would have just been the regular animated, and probably still would have been fun.
Sure.
There was something else about it that was just it allowed people to now experiment with this technology.
And I remember being a kid, and all this was so mind blowing. Like seeing 3D animation. We talked last week about the 95 being this is something I've never seen before. I remember 99. I'm 11, and I'm thinking like, what they're able to do with camera movements. And like, I don't understand the language of film yet, but I'm like, this feels so big and this feels like we can do so much and there's so much more excitement. And that's like the evolution of these movies and rewatching them all back to back. It's insane how photorealistic 3 gets.
Yeah. And so for sure. There are 3 directors of this movie, as there was only one in the first one. There's 3 directors in this movie. The directors are both John Lasseter, Ash Brannon, and Lee Unkrich, where I think it was maybe I was wrong, but I thought it was just Lasseter for the first one. Yep. But so the cast alone, you got Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Joan Cusack comes in as Jesse, Kelsey Grammer comes in as the prospector. That's Stinky Pete, right?
Yep.
Don Rickles is Mr. Potato Head. Jim Varney, the late great Jim Varney, is Slinky Dog. Wallace Shawn.
So Jim Varney is gone.
Yeah, I think he passed away.
Between 2 and 3.
Because I noticed, I was like, Slink sounds a lot weirder, and I wondered why they cut so many of his lines.
From when? In this one?
In 4.
Well,
he died between 2 and 3, man.
Yeah, he wasn't even in 3.
He wasn't in 3?
No,
he passed in 2000.
He was 50 years old. Holy crap.
Yeah, he died young, man.
Ernest, man.
Yeah.
So then we
I want Pete Davidson to play him in like a biopic. I'd love to see like an Ernie biopic, like the making of all the Ernest movies, and have like
play Jim Varney.
He's got that like.
Dude, he can't. Jim Varney
too big.
Pete Davidson is about as East Coast. He's about as East Coast as you get. He's gonna play a Southern guy.
I was just thinking like he's got that like like a line cook energy. I always thought Jim Varney's got line cook energy.
Yeah, it's true. Jim Varney was a tall dude, I think, though too.
Yeah, that's Pete.
That's less about it and more about the fact it's just like, hey, I'm Ernest.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I hear Pete Davidson like there's energy there.
But that's not Ernest. Ernest's like, hi everybody.
Oh, that's true. That's not a Kentucky drawl.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of Ernest? Hey guys, you gotta come over to the shed. It's Christmas, guys.
Bad casting.
Yeah, it's Christmas.
I'll own this. Bad casting. I just want to see Jim Varney movie.
I got my sneakers on. Check it out.
Judd Apatow puts me in his movies. It's great.
Yeah, that's right. You guys see my girlfriend? She's pretty hot.
Always hot.
All right, so it's like have you seen my last 14 girlfriends?
Dude,
I got a lot of tattoos.
Someone who has never missed.
Dude, what a journey he's been on, and he's authentically funny.
And I'm proud of myself because I had a joke, but I'm going to save it because of the Toy Story thing.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, so see self-control, Winston and Coy. That's what it looks like.
Right. Annie Potts, Bo Peep, Wayne Knight is Al McWiggin, Big Al, Laurie Metcalf returning as Andy's mom. So really, a lot of
adding Estelle Harris as Mrs. Potato Head is amazing.
It's great.
And Arlie Ernie as Sarge is
incredible.
Is she? I
don't see Estelle Harris.
Right there right under. John Morris.
I see. Yes.
Dude, that is such a great casting for her.
And you're able and with the success of the first movie.
We lost her this year.
Was it this year?
Oh wow!
She was
I didn't know that. Oh, dude.
93. So all of the but with the cast, with the success of the first and Bug's Life, you can shell out a little bit more cash.
Yeah.
And because at this point that and they probably had because if it only took 4 years to release from the first, they probably started working on a sequel right away after those box office receipts came in.
Opening weekend, they were like, we've got these renders.
Start working on 2.
And you can evolve. Like it's the She-Hulk issue is you've got the compositions of Hulk and Abomination. So making them look better is easier than inventing She-Hulk.
Right.
And She-Hulk is more photorealistic because she's just a 7-foot green. So our eyes, the uncanny valley is like, why is that just a really weird take on Tatiana Maslany versus Abomination's like, that's not a thing I can find in nature.
Right.
And it's got 10 years more composition. So I imagine opening weekend of Toy Story, they're like, okay, we've got these toys. Let's keep developing them. Let's figure out who we're going to bring in. Let's get them looking as good as our OGs now. And then you just add those textures and layers and flavors and make the story.
I think the other thing that's so wild, because we were talking about that, you partnered up with a lot of brands. So you partnered up with like Mattel with Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah.
And with Barbie and Ken at this point.
Huge money.
The fact that you can then throw a Toy Story logo on the official Barbie from Toy Story, official.
Remember all these video games? I played every Toy Story video game. I was
so
obsessed. They were great.
They were so good.
But like the toys that were toys, like it's another wave. Like not only just adding the sticker, but it's also like you can invent brand new IP from these toys.
Brilliant idea overall. Going back to the first movie, is that even in the pitch, it's like if this thing works, not only are we just playing with the idea of toys in general, they start thinking like Lucas did back in, because you're playing in toys.
Look at Lightyear. It's the astronaut. Right. Like we're going the other way.
Right.
Like, so it's crazy you can expand this.
It's interesting. And well, we have a lot to talk about with Lightyear, because even Winston and I at one point were like, the only glitch.
I can't wait to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, yeah, and this isn't a spoiler. The only glitch with that, which it's a nitpicky glitch, is that Socks steals the show. Oh, right.
Delightful.
That's not the nitpick. The nitpick is that if that was based on a movie, Andy would have Socks also.
That was the thing.
Big glitch.
He would have Socks. He would potentially want the rest of
the Rangers.
But the one thing that
maybe Socks is too expensive.
Like this isn't really
after 10 years.
This isn't really a spoiler. That there's 2 post-credit scenes. The one that Kristian wanted, and I think would have been great for a post-credit, would have been Andy telling his mom, "I need to get that toy," and it's like, maybe for your birthday, as like a little tease
or
into
something,
Toy Story.
Or
Love
something,
that. Connecting it.
Yeah, to something. But either way, so this one, it was what Toy Story 1, 2, and 3 did very well, and again, I like Toy Story 4, but I just think that these did. The reason why they are considered such great movies, and people didn't want to 4 because the 3 were done so well, is because it is hard to do what each one of these movies did. The first one sets you up in a very familiar place with your toys and takes you back to being a kid, or if you're seeing it as a kid the first time, you're thinking about all your toys, and they throw a nice little emotional thing. Same thing about wanting to belong. And then 2 and 3 play even more so inside the emotions.
Yeah.
And to be able to do that each time to make you care more about the same characters you've been with is not an easy thing to do. So they do this.
Grow without feeling like sequelitis. It didn't feel like it was big for the sake of big. No. But at the same time, you're in a full toy barn and you're feeling that like all those new characters felt organic.
It seems like they had a story to tell. Yeah. It didn't seem like they were just doing a sequel because the first one made money. It's part of the reason.
But it's not the reason.
It's not the reason. And that a lot of times when sequels, you can smell the fart in the elevator. When they do that.
Some of the Jurassic.
A lot of that time, yes, right. A lot of times when they're like, okay, let's just do a sequel because we need some money for the studio. We know we're gonna get some people in there. We'll do this, throw it in there, do that. Great, let's do that. We don't need a plan. Let's go. That's not the case with this movie.
Lightyear is the 5th Toy Story movie. Jurassic World Dominion is the 6th. These are running side by side. One of them is consistent.
Right. It's the truth. Well, they're both consistent. They're just consistent in a different tone.
Yeah, I'll take this over. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
But just sticking to Toy Story 2, there's a lot of like things specifically that I love about this that I think are really great. So you get one, if you look throughout the series, someone is always losing an arm. Right. So Buzz lost his trying to fly in the first one, and this one, Woody ends up losing it.
Stitched out, right?
He loses it twice.
Yeah, one's fully pulled and one's slow.
First time is because Andy accidentally pops it.
Yep.
And then and then it comes all the way off, and they fix it. And then Pete trying to attack him does it, and then you got that cool moment with Andy making him look buff. And
it is sad though when in the beginning there when he wants to take him to camp and he can't take him.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so sad. The emotions. I mean, Pixar is so good at pulling.
So apparently, Toy's dream, by the way. Bye, Woody.
Yeah. That mind warpy sequence scared the crap out of me as a kid.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, all of that. So the movie is, and it does not get old.
No.
Like it's amazing how
timeless.
1999 you watch it 23 years later or whatever, and it still works, man. And I mentioned to this last time for people who are tuning into this for the first time, my 4.5-year-old at first wasn't interested in Toy Story and was scared at one point, but then she read something in her book, then wanted to watch all 4 of them.
Yeah.
Just blazed through them, and her favorite is Jessie. She loves Jessie the most, and that's also who the story was about. But yeah, it's amazing how it just resonates with everybody.
It's pretty wild, man. And the little things that they did, knowing what we're diving into. So 99, you're about to get into the golden age of video games. Like honestly, you're about to get because you already
PS2's thriving.
It's about to start. PS2's 2001. So you're in the middle of N64, regular PlayStation, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. You open it up with a Buzz video game. You think it's like Buzz doing a mission,
Yeah,
and you
that's
get
a really good
geeked out
point.
because he is.
Oh, right at the beginning,
The character that we I mean, people love Woody. They love all the toys, but Buzz is the toy that everybody is obsessed with, right? So you're like, oh my God, he's fighting Zurg. Like, wait, Buzz died?
Yeah.
And then you realize it's Rex playing a video game.
Yeah.
Absolutely hilarious.
And now it's funny, though, too, how, because if you watch this movie after you watch Lightyear, that how much different that opening scene plays now.
Yeah, because they really are adapting a story.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, I don't want
we'll
to
get
spoil
there,
anything. But still, it is and it's a very clever way to do it overall. And I think that's what this even for, which again I like for a lot. I think each one is kind of they keep it clever, and what Pixar does well, and especially in the Toy Story series, is that they make it watchable for children, and they give you the humor that you can watch it as an adult. So if you watched it as a kid growing up and remember a lot of the things that you said last week, Winston, where there's now things that didn't play that you didn't pick up on when you were younger that play even better now as an adult.
Oh, dude, like I think I mentioned it, but Buzz. When they realize the dog needs to go out and Jesse does the same thing Buzz did earlier to open the door.
Yeah.
And so then Buzz just like, little things like that.
I also love that the dog in this one, like you assume he's going to be the enemy at the end of the first film, and instead he becomes his best friend.
Yeah.
And I also love that the animation improved so much the dog looked like a dog. Because the dog in the first film is nightmare fuel.
And they set that, that's true. But they set that up though really well even too. Like even where they let you know really fast that he's a friend. Where Woody pretends
immediately belly and like it's so
like,
cute. It's the same bait and switch as the Lightyear thing, but on Woody's scale.
Right.
It's the same. Like what's gonna happen? Oh right, they're friends. I loved it. Yeah, this movie's great.
It's really good. And
who knew? Toy Story.
And I think do you still stand? Last week you said 2's your favorite.
I will be changing my rankings by the time we finish, but it's still up there.
I'm excited to rank them at the end like we've been doing.
Are we going to put Lightyear in there?
Yeah.
We are?
Should we? We should do it on Lightyear episode and put it in there.
I still don't know if Lightyear is part of the Toy Story.
If I'm ranking between 1 and 2 right now, it goes 2-1. How about that?
Okay.
That's fine.
We can do that while we're here.
Yeah.
I'm still 1-2 for now.
We can do, when we finish the whole thing, we can do it. We'll rank them 2 ways. We'll rank them as far as the Toy Story goes, then we'll rank them as far as, because it's a spin-off movie. It's not really, Lightyear's not a Toy Story movie.
But when you look at like the MCU, we rank them all. And like Ant-Man barely correlates to Guardians.
But they're not spin-offs. They're all directly connected in a real story.
But I'm gonna stop giving in to you also too, because as I saw when we talked about Tropic Thunder, and everyone's like, Tropic Thunder is not a Tom Cruise movie. And when I was saying, I was like, because I
the
backed
comments
off.
were not thrilled about Tropic Thunder being Tom Cruise movie.
I backed off on that one with you, but I was like, I
think it's the comic mentality, because like in a comic book, if a character shows up in one frame, you're like, Spider-Man's in the issue, gotta own it. It's that mentality. Tom Cruise in the movie, I got it. It's Tom Cruise movie. There he is. We're gonna wrap it out with this guy.
We're gonna close it out with come here, dude. Dude, come here. We're gonna say hello. Come here. Dude, come here. Come here. Hey, dude.
I got him.
Get over here. Come here. I'm gonna pick him up.
Okay, come here, buddy.
I'm waiting. Come here.
Come here, buddy.
Come here.
Your little goofy ass.
Dude, come here, you little rat.
Hey, your dad's calling.
Dude. Come here. There you go.
There he is. Look at that bundle of wiggle.
So now now
wiggle
I can
joy.
tell you that right now. This dog is the enemy of every toy in the house. There is not a toy we have a toy like it's a puppet that is we call Puff. It's a dragon. This dog goes out of his way to go into that toy thing and rip this puppet.
The chaos energy of this dog is amazing.
He's almost a year old.
Oh,
it's crazy.
Amazing.
He's gonna be a year old and.
We've been doing this show a long time.
You see him just go.
I gotta move, bruh.
Yeah, look at him. Let's see.
Oh, look at that face. Dude.
All right, so look, we're gonna end the show that way. The dude comes in, causes chaos.
Hi, buddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on the big thing for the Toy Story 2 rewatch. As I mentioned to you earlier, the way we're gonna do it, dude, you want to tell him? No, okay. The way we're gonna do it is Toy Story 2 will be is today. Toy Story 3 and 4 will be next Friday. Lightyear spoiler will be a week from Monday, and then we're going to do the Jurassic World spoiler talk this Monday coming up. So there's a lot of stuff that we're doing, but we're recording a lot of it today. So we'll be wearing the same outfits. We're not going to pretend and give you guys, we're going to change outfits. I don't want anything to do with that.
The one that lives here.
Yeah. So you guys, that's right. That's exactly right. I'm not moving. I
might put a sweatshirt on. That AC's blowing.
That's fine. So anyway, listen, thank you for joining us on the show. Thank you to Winston and Coy. As I said, Monday we'll be doing the spoiler review of Jurassic whatever the hell that crap piece is called. We'll be talking about that. And then if you did not watch yesterday's big thing with Roxy and Brett, if you want to laugh, you should, because Brett was on a whole other level. He was throwing bombs. Thank you to Storyblocks. Thank you to all you guys out there. And make sure, once again, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and don't forget to subscribe. So thanks once again. We appreciate you very much so, and we'll see you on the flip side.